Video is about biological methods of extracting metals, and it's higher tier only content. So these are two ways that have been developed of extracting metals using living things, and they're specifically looking at extracting copper. Copper is a finite resource that is used a lot, and the world is running out of known sources of high-grade copper ores. That's ores that have a high percentage of copper in them, and that's what's needed for extracting copper by displacement with carbon and by electrolysis. So what we are doing here is taking low-grade ores with a low percentage of copper and using either plants or bacteria to help us increase the grade or percentage of those ores so that we can extract the copper using either electrolysis or displacement. So there's two key types you need to know about. The first is phytomining. So here we're using plants. And we take soils that are rich in these low-grade copper ores and we grow plants in these soils. And as the plants are growing and taking in mineral ions and water from the soil, they also take in this copper ore. Once the plant is fully grown, you can then burn it in air and you will get an ash being produced. And that ash has a high percentage of copper in it, so it's then a high-grade copper ore. And from there, you can carry out electrolysis or displacement on that solution and end up with copper metal that can be used for commercial purposes. This is not something that's currently being used, but it might be used in the future. And a key advantage of it is that it's removing toxic metals from soils. The second type is bioleaching. So here you are looking at areas around old copper mines where there's still copper ores in the soil, and there are bacteria found there that can actually extract that copper for you. So you've got copper sulfide ores, so copper chemically joined to sulfur mixed in with some other stuff, and those bacteria can oxidize them, and they produce something called a leachate solution, and that's going to have quite a high percentage of copper compounds in it, so you can then do displacement and electrolysis on it. Now these bacteria work best when it's slightly acidic, so they tend to be sprayed with sulfuric acid, and that is then releasing toxic substances into the environment, which is a disadvantage of bioleaching compared with phytomining, which removes toxic substances.